Welcome back, ESBR Boxing YouTube channel. I'm here, joined by Owen McKendry, and we're here to discuss what's happening tomorrow night as we're recording this tonight, probably as you're watching this. Jake Paul taking on former undisputed heavyweight world champion, the baddest man on the planet, approaching 60 years of age, Mike Tyson. Before we get down to brass tacks and what we think's actually going to happen, if you're new around here, if you see our videos coming up and you're recommended, make sure to subscribe. We've got plenty of boxing content coming. We didn't give as much attention to this fight as maybe you've seen other outlets because we do like to focus on actual boxing, but maybe that's a topic for another day. Owen, thanks for hopping on. We are just over 24 hours out from fight night. How are we feeling? Are you looking forward to it? Are you excited?
No, not at all. I don't think, as we said off camera, I don't think MVP will be calling me up for any media duties anytime soon. Um, it's just mental. I think, like we both said, it's a case of, is this really happening? And then, until they're in the ring, obviously I said to you as well, we've all seen the video of those two fighters. I can't remember their names. Bell goes, referee tells them to fight. He climbs out in protest and walks away. It still seems something like that's going to happen. But until they're actually in the ring and walking towards each other as the referee puts his hand down and the first bell goes, then I'll believe it's actually happening.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Not in the way I would look forward to a fight necessarily, but like maybe like a night at the circus or something. I don't know. I mean, it's just not gonna feel real seeing Jake Paul standing across the ring from Mike Tyson, whatever version of Mike Tyson that may be. It's been a long build up. Of course, the fight was originally due to take place over the summer. Mike Tyson had complications from an ulcer, which left him in the hospital, which obviously you would say there's some red flags there, but
Mm.
nonetheless, the show must go on. A lot of money to be made, and the fight's actually happening. I mean, people don't want to hear anymore people talking about should the fight be happening. Everyone knows what the consensus opinion amongst boxing fans is. Like it or lump it, it's here. What have you made of like the build up? Obviously, Mike was very quiet at the press conference yesterday. He's clearly in fight mode. That or he's not had his meds in the morning. I'm not necessarily sure, but Jake Paul selling it as he always does. Actually, what I want to get your thoughts on is how like big do you actually think this is? Because I've got to be honest, I've probably had more people who aren't boxing fans, like the casual sports fan, not even sports fans, like my granny knows this is happening, my mum knows this is happening, genuinely. And you compare that to some of the other biggest fights of the years, your Fury, Usyk, Joshua Dubois, like nowhere near as much,
Mm.
interest amongst your sort of man in the street. There's talk that this could be one of the biggest, most viewed boxing events ever. Do you think this is gonna like be that level of viewership?
Yeah, I do. Like you say, I can't believe even like the media out there how much coverage it's actually getting. The fact it's on Netflix is absolutely insane because I dread to think how many accounts Netflix has, and each time I'll go on Netflix to watch a series, it's the first thing that pops
Yeah.
up. It's in your face. It's there. As I was saying before, I was driving home from work in just past Coventry City Centre. We're not the biggest place on the planet, are we? And there's a billboard with a countdown to fight night for Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. I'm like, I've never seen this for Fury Usyk and all these huge events and huge fights that we've had, especially with the Riyadh seasons. The level of coverage
Yeah.
it's incredible. But I think the thing for me is just the way the media are doing a great job. It's, are they being paid? Are they being told to do so? That Mike Tyson, I'm seeing videos of him on the pad where I'm thinking he's a shell of his former self. And I'm seeing people that are very sort of well known in the media and sort of respected within the boxing world saying how dangerous he looks, how sharp he looks, how strong he looks. And I'm sat there going, am I watching the same videos? Because he's still got his style, coming in nice and low, but it's just mental, mate. The coverage, they're doing everything they can to get the viewership in, and they're doing a very good job of it, to be honest.
Yeah, we obviously there's going to be a lot of people, I would say, well into the tens of millions watching tomorrow night. But what are they going to see? I mean, it's a fully fledged professional contest, albeit in 14-ounce gloves and 2-minute rounds. You can bet on it. Like, I don't know. I don't know how that works. And there's a lot of theories about potential agreements. Well, maybe not go too hard. Let's not get hurt here,
Mhm.
but whatever. What do you think actually happens when they step into the ring? A lot of people think if it is what it's being billed as and it's a professional fight and both men are trying to take each other's head off, that Mike Tyson's going to get brutally stopped in a couple of rounds, which I like as much as, you could argue he's agreed to this. It's a
Mm.
boxing. I don't have like a thin skin when it comes to like knockouts and stuff at the
Mhm.
best of times. It's a combat sport, but I wouldn't feel good watching that. Do you think that's what's going to
Mm.
happen? Do you think Jake Paul's going to coast to a points win? Do you think Mike could do it? I mean, that would be certainly a popular one. What do you think actually does happen at the AT&T tomorrow night?
I think it'll give away my prediction just before I actually get to it, but I think 14-ounce gloves, 2 minute rounds over 8 rounds, 16 minutes maximum. It's a Jake Paul points victory. I think it's set up perfectly for him to do so. It almost cons the viewers into thinking it's a competitive fight because they've only got it's a case of Mike Tyson. You've only got 15 minutes or so. It's 1 minute extra than 15 minutes. It's not a long time. Compared to even if it's 3 minute rounds, I mean it's 24 minutes. It's a lot longer. I think Jake Paul's going to cruise to a points win. I think we're going to see a similar Mike Tyson to that of the Roy Jones Jr. exhibition, whatever that was, where he comes in looking like his old former self, punched up, head down, ready to throw big, and we'll sort of just see the shoulder won't extend out fully. He'll make it look like he's going to even play down to it that Jake Paul's just going to get on his bike and move around, sort of thing. But I think they're clever. I think they have to because, like I said to yourself, Mike Tyson, it might not be no spring chicken, but Jake Paul stands so square on. Jake Paul stands square on in the middle with Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson lands an overhand right in 8-ounce gloves. He's going to sleep. You won't lose the technique. Might lose some power to an element, but obviously he'll lose the speed. But I just think it's set up perfectly for a Jake Paul points win. Then he goes, "I've beat the baddest man on the planet."
Yeah, and that's exactly what it would be. There would be no acknowledgement of the fact Mike was 58 years old at all. And I almost have to
Absolutely not.
respect him for it. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
got to go fully into it
yeah.
if you're going to do it.
The
There's
hustle
no
is
point.
there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'd be inclined to agree with you, and I cannot imagine that they're both gonna go in there and like properly have a go at
No
rendering the other man
chance.
unconscious. Mainly because you would like to think, obviously, Mike Tyson's someone who's been used and abused by the boxing game, probably more than anyone, screwed out of hundreds of millions. Like, we don't need to go into that. But you would like to think, and at this stage, he's got good enough people around him to have his best interests at heart to know that like we cannot like because knockouts are damaging to anyone in boxing. Obviously, CTE is very real. Mike, I think for a fighter of his age in the era he was in, I think he seems to at the minute have got away all right. He seems to have all his faculties and stuff, and he's very articulate. But
Mhm.
suffering a knockout to someone who's what going to be the same weight as him, but 30 years younger. Jake Paul can crack. I mean, I don't think he's Floyd Mayweather in terms of technique, but he can definitely punch a bit. And the idea that there wouldn't be some sort of representation from Tyson saying, "Look, this, if we're going to do this, we cannot risk his health, his life." So
Mm.
I think they're gonna put on a bit of a show, maybe make it look like in a few flurries they were actually trying to get the knockout, but
Definitely.
Jake Paul will coast to a point win. Not coast because I don't know if he's like capable of coasting, but will end up with a points win. Obviously, he's the star of the show. It's the Jake Paul show. He's gonna get the win. I can't believe that you can back Jake Paul just to win the fight in any way at 1-2. I mean, this could look very stupid. That seems like free money to me.
Mm.
Even if it is a proper fight, I think he'll knock Mike Tyson out. If it's not, he's gonna win. Like that's the script. That's what's gonna happen. But we shall see. It's happening. Honestly, it feels like we're in the Twilight Zone. tomorrow night, tonight as you're watching this, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Let us know if you agree. We could all look very stupid, and Mike Tyson could roll back the 19 years since he last boxed, 30 years, 30 plus years since he was boxing anywhere near his best, and knock Jake Paul out in a couple of rounds. I can't see it, Owen can't see it, but let us know if you can. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe, ESBR Boxing. Like the video if you enjoyed, and we'll catch you again soon. Cheers.